Yo, what is good, Celtics Nation? Welcome back to the Bleed Green podcast, guys. It's been a little bit since we recorded one of these episodes. We are back, but since the last time we recorded, we are about 5-2 right now. We've lost to the Hornets and we've lost to the Magic, and a couple of big things have gone by. You know, and in one of our last episodes, I remember, Ricky, we were talking about the in-season tournament, and we were very, very hell-bent on saying, you know, the Celtics we don't care about winning the in-season tournament. We don't care at all. However, yeah, they proved us completely wrong. Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics decided, you know, we went to Chicago needing to win by, 23 points to advance to the next round. And,
something like
you know, we were blowing them out in the fourth quarter. And what does Joe do? Yeah. He starts intentionally fouling. Hacking a Drummond. So, you know, I do want to apologize because me and Ricky, we were both sitting here saying, yeah, they don't care about winning in the in-season tournament. They're just going to play games like it's a normal game. But quite frankly, they weren't doing that at all. They really wanted to, you know, improve. They really wanted to, you know, advance in the in-season tournament. And that's exactly what they did. So personally, I feel like
Do they though, Phubs? Like
they do.
The coach, the organization does, and the NBA does, right? Like, so I'm sure that at some, I mean, you look at it as if they're operating a business, right? The NBA is a business. The business starts to put on this event. They call in the 30 teams and they set everybody down. They say, listen, this is the first year of the in-season tournament. Don't screw around. Like we want to put on a good product. We want to put on a quality product. This is going to be something we're doing going forward. Everybody's got to fall in line. And obviously, being the organization that they are, being that the commissioner of the league is, top tier in my opinion. Everybody started to do exactly what they needed to do. Do I think the players have an interest of going to Vegas? Maybe I underplayed that whole part of it. I think maybe that there's some sex appeal there, if I can call it that, of going to Vegas with LeBron and KD. And well, it is. You go to Vegas. Vegas is Vegas, right? These guys are all young. They want to spend a good weekend in Vegas on the league. You got all the stars in the building. You're gonna have a plethora of great teams, and from LeBron to KD to it's going to be a jam-packed weekend, almost like All-Star weekend in the way these guys really like to go out for that. So, but some of the statements made after that game led me to believe that maybe the players don't really care as much as the organization does. And the organization is simply falling in. I think Joe's just doing what the owner is telling him to do.
Okay.
Which is, you gotta do what the league wants you to do here. You gotta try to get the point differential and get into this tournament. Because look at it, you have pretty much Milwaukee, you have Boston, you have Phoenix, and you have the Lakers. This is pretty much could be an East versus West finals, and so the league wants to see that because they want to see the four best teams in the league go at it in this in-season tournament for the first go round. Could you imagine if it was like the Magic and the Bulls and the Hornets and and all these teams that are because the teams that are really fighting for playoff position didn't care, so they look, I'm not going to say the players don't care. Maybe they care a little bit more than I thought they would, but I'm not taking the cheese there. I don't think Jaylen Brown cares. I don't think Jaylen Brown was really feeling that, doing the whole hack of Drummond. I don't think he likes the floor.
I don't think the players care that much, but I agree the organization, the owners, and I really think
the organization really cares. The organization cares a lot.
Though. I think Joe Mazzulla does, because if you're Joe Mazzulla, I wouldn't throw your guys out there up by whatever. I didn't watch the Bulls game, so I don't really know what was going on in that game. But I wouldn't throw my guys out there up by 25 points with 5 minutes left to go. I wouldn't throw my stars back out there.
Did you watch the post game?
I didn't. I don't know. So you're gonna have to fill me in the post game.
So Joe in the post game, essentially, because what's his name, the head coach Donovan from the Bulls, he was pissed. He was pissed. He was like, "What the hell? What are we doing here?" In a normal game with no implications like this. I mean, it's poor sportsmanship in theory. I don't really care for that commentary. Like, it's sports, dude. Like, pull your guy out, or like teach him how to hit free throws. Like, I don't want to hear you crying. But in the eyes of the players, the culture of the league, everyone's buddy. They're all bros. This isn't this isn't 96 where
Yeah.
guys like Michael Jordan hated everybody he played against. This isn't even like 0203, talking some of the beef that Kobe had with players. This is a very modernized NBA where guys are just friends. They're all friends with one another. They don't want to, they want to win, but they don't want to feel like they're creating enemies with people that they, are friends with during the off season.
Yeah.
So my whole thing with this is it just seems like and back to Joe Mazzulla's point. So Joe Mazzulla was essentially saying like, listen, this is what we were told we had to do. So I have to do it. And Joe's a company man, just like if you were working for any employer and the employer says, hey, you need to do XYZ because I told you to. Well, you're going to have to do that because somebody pays your salary. Yeah. You're not, self-employed here. So Joe Mazzulla works for the Celtics. The Celtics is being told by the organization that this matters. We can debate whether we feel it does or not, but the league cares. The 30 teams care because the league cares. And so the coaches, whether he might care, but it sounded to me like he cared as much as the organization did because this is what the organization wants, because this is what the league wants. And then just like Jaylen Brown and Tatum and Holiday all said after the game, they didn't really like to do the hack of Drummond, and they didn't want to pour it on. It's because, again, the company line, right? So Joe Mazzulla trumps the players, whether we think superstars have enough power or not. At the end of the day, if the organization's saying you got to do it, and the coach says you got to do it, then players are going to do it, and they're going to just fall in line and do it. And that's just what happens when you work in corporate America. It's like every other job. So I think that they're going to enjoy themselves, and I think that there's a part. So now that they're in the tournament, I think they're going to try, and they're going to want to win ahead. Yeah, I think they will. And so, but that being said, like, I don't particularly think that. I think that if they didn't put such emphasis on this, the Celtics would have been completely fine with winning by 15 and not making the tournament. And I don't think they would have made a whole big stink about it. But I really think that the league wanted Boston in there because it's an attractive team to have, especially with Milwaukee on the other side of that bracket. And also, I think for this being the first in-season tournament, if it flops, then it's kind of a big deal. But I'll say this, it got a lot of people tuned in. Kudos to the NBA with the ratings because people were very, very interested in the point deficit aspect of it. People are watching games that, who's watching a Bulls Celtics game when they're up 20? Nobody cares, but everybody cares in this particular case because of the stakes and the point differential and the drama. And so from a glorified reality TV aspect of this, I mean, it's brilliant by the NBA. So I was poo-pooing it, and I still think it's kind of stupid, only because I'm looking at the big picture here, Fubs. I don't want to see Jaylen or Tatum or Al or Holiday or Porzingis get hurt in a tournament. That's not the objective here. That's not the reason why they suit up and play basketball. It's for Banner 18, man. That's why they're doing this. And they know the writing's on the wall, man. They can win it this year. They have the team to do it. I mean, they don't even have Porzingis, and they're dominating teams. And this team is just so deep and so talented that it would really, really suck to see, as cool as it would to see a LeBron, Lakers, Celtics in-season tournament final. I'll admit it. I would be interested in that. Yeah. But like any of those stars get hurt in that game, I'm out. Yeah. I'm so out on this. And I know everyone's like, oh, he could get hurt anywhere. It's like, yeah, but you got hurt there. So regardless of if you can get hurt in any game, it doesn't matter. What matters is what game you got hurt in. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. There is a reason why I actually am starting to like the in-season tournament. This point aspect, I'm actually really starting to, be fond of, and I'll tell you why. Now, the Celtics are a team that we're known to blow leads. We've done it a couple of times this season as well. A couple of times in particular that have been horrible. But the reason I like it is because, we need to win by 23 points. So you come out, you set a goal, and you achieve that goal. Whether you're up by 23, whether you're up by 20 in the fourth quarter, you come out here, and it teaches our guys to come out here and just end the game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Keep your foot on the gas pedal, get in the fourth quarter, and keep it going. Even if you're up 17 with 7 minutes left, keep going. I don't want us to blow leads. So I do like that aspect of the in-season tournament. It made us play better. It made us.
I don't think that lead was ever in jeopardy. That team is garbage, dude.
Well, like I said, I didn't watch it, but
yeah, I mean, you did it. That team is a disaster, and what's crazy and I know I don't want to get too much into Bulls talk here, but what's crazy is they were minusing they were pulling out guys like Levine and some of these other players DeMar and they were winning, and they dominated the Bucks the other night without DeMar and without Levine, which is crazy.
So weird, right? So weird. It's
weird. That team is a hot dumpster fire right now.
The Bulls have a good team. On paper, they have a good team, man. It doesn't make sense. Kobe White, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso.
Yeah, on
paper, that's a solid ass team, man. But
if Vucevic want to come to the Celtics, I take Vucevic right now.
Hey, I'm okay with Porzingis, man. I'm okay with Porzingis. Al Horford, I don't know if you watched the Sixers game yesterday. Al Horford came up with 2 nasty blocks in a row. Let's talk about that Sixers game real quick, Ricky.
Okay.
That was an awful game. We won. But it was awful. I think we can both agree they were missing Tyrese Maxey, they were missing Nicholas Batum, Joel Embiid, Kelly Oubre. That is 4 starters out of their starting lineup and came out here in bold. I mean, you just talked about the Bulls without Zach LaVine, without DeMar DeRozan beating the Bucks. This is could have been very similar, missing a bunch of their starters. Patrick Beverley looked like prime AI. Robert Covington was absolutely balling out versus us, getting 5 steals. He was looking nasty. What is with the Celtics that they can't come out here and just play seriously in these games? I mean, listen, this is a game we should be able to dominate. I feel like Tatum played well, but he needs to understand we need these games
until he fouled out, until he got 2 technicals.
Until he got 2 listen, we need him in these games. We don't need you getting a stupid tech, and then you need to realize you already have 1 tech. Just shut up. Just shut up. It's a foul.
He needs to shut up, dude. I know that all-stars get preferential treatment in that league with calls and stuff like that, but he complains way too much. He gets all hot and bothered about the calls, and to the point where sometimes he forgets to get back on defense. He's too busy throwing up his hands and looking at the ref. It's like, dude, get back on defense. Come on. And he's just. But it's not just Tatum. It's a league thing. It's like a superstar thing. Like all these guys, they chirp. This is why Chris Paul has issues, and this is why KD has issues, and every once in a while you catch Giannis getting chatty, and so it is a league wide issue. But I agree with you. You got the first technical. That I feel like that's the reason why they give you 2, because it's like you can take a step back after the first one. Like you push your button, you push the limits. You get the first one. Okay, now I got to dial it back because I can't afford to get a second technical, right? So you just tone it back, and so I just,
especially in this game, we need.
Yeah, it. I mean, this is a game that especially Philly being so shorthanded, and you could really just run them up the gym, and they didn't do that, and no, they've really they've been spotty. I saw. Not to go too far back, but we didn't really get to talk about this game, obviously, because I was away on vacation. But the Bucks game back on the 22nd, the first 3 quarters of that game, that was prime Celtics basketball. That is, in my opinion, the peak. So when we look at the team and what everything it can be, it's those 3 quarters. But they almost blew it at the end. But man, they were killing them for 3 quarters. They absolutely dominated in every aspect of the game. The ball is being passed, great distribution. Guys are getting involved on defense. Big plays are happening. Everybody's hitting shots. And it's like, oh my God, this team at this juncture, in the way it looks in that moment, is unstoppable. It is not even, there's no team that can beat that Boston Celtics team.
But we're just not consistent.
Fubs, this has been, this goes back to Ime. This goes back even before that. It's just, it's a constant thing where we're just not playing to our potential constantly on a regular basis. And, you saw it against the Magic. You saw it against the Hornets. Even if the Magic are getting hot, that's not a team that you should be exchanging blows with. That's a team you should be destroying. You have no business going into OT against the Hornets.
Charlotte?
You should be,
No.
yeah,
No,
right. You should be beating those teams. And after they made a couple of nice, impressive runs. They beat the Hawks pretty handedly. They did their thing against Memphis. I know they're kind of a hot mess right now, but they overall they did their thing. I feel like. And I was even, pleasantly pleased with the Raptors game. I think the Raptors have, sneaky potential, and they have a better team than I thought. At least a better, you want to talk about post opposite of the Bulls. The Bulls have an excellent team on paper. The Raptors have some good young players. No real big closers, but they over exceed their abilities with the way that they play basketball. So those are sneaky teams. Those are teams that can give you fits, kind of like the Knicks give you fits. And so the Raptors, even the way I saw them play that game, I was pleasantly pleased with that too. So it's I'm going back a bit, but I'm just trying to measure them over the last 7-8 games and how they've been playing. And I've just not seen any sort of level of consistency in really any game. The closest thing we got to consistent was 3/4 of the Milwaukee game, and I really wish I could have saw it in 4 full quarters, and we could have really seen the team in its entirety play the way it is. But you only see it in spurts. They give you a good quarter, they give you a bad quarter. They give you a good quarter, and then the only thing I'll say is they're not consistently blowing leads. That is something that they're not doing that the Boston
that's
Celtics
what we were doing last year.
Season were doing. So this season they're not doing that as much, but they're still coming out flat in quarters after dominating. And it's a lot in the third, but it's also even just like a great first quarter, flat second quarter. You know what I mean?
I think the biggest issue with this team right now, Ricky, and you can correct me if you believe otherwise, it's the rebounding. We're still giving up a ton of offensive rebounding. I don't know if it's because Kristaps has been out, but it's that, and then it's the turnovers. Listen, let me tell you this stat from last game. We gave up 94 shots last game to the Sixers, right? We had 77. They outshot us by 17 shots, and this has been happening consistently. When you turn over the ball, when you let them get offensive rebounds, they're going to outshoot you. And if you get outshot by 17, most of the time you're going to lose those games. The fact that we even won this game was quite frankly kind of amazing, if I'm being honest. You never want to get outshot by 17. So I feel like the biggest issue with our consistency is being able to rebound the basketball, whether that's, seeing more Neemias Queta, get him in there more over Luke Cornett. I know you'd want to see that, or whether that's being
I want to see that big time.
Instead of us trying to push the fast break, let's just crash the glass, make sure they don't get another opportunity, because those are the possessions that kill us. Those are the demoralizing, when they miss a shot, they get the rebound, kick out for 3, get it to go. And then 2 possessions later, miss a shot, rebound, hit a 3. Those are demoralizing for not only your defense, but for your offense overall. So we need to find a way, just box out. Jason, Jaylen, Kristaps, whoever it is, rebound the goddamn basketball. And then, dude, please, can we stop turning over the basketball? Even last game, Jason Tatum, he played how many minutes? 27 minutes, had 7 turnovers. 7 turnovers. Unbelievable. You cannot be turning over the ball that much. I know we started off by, roasting Jaylen early in the season, but I saw a stat over the last 10 games.
He's still got 2.4 turnovers a game.
Who, Jaylen?
Yes. I'm looking at this right now.
Over the past 10 games, he's actually has the highest assist to turnover ratio of all of our starters right now. So he's been doing the best over the last 10 games, but we need to see him continue to do that over a long period of time. But it's everyone. Everyone. Stop turning over the basketball. Jason Tatum last game, Ricky, how many times did he just make a stupid pass? Just stupid. Not even open, just threw it right to the defender.
I think it kind of played into his whole thing of getting ejected. I think frustrations build up. You know what I mean? He's not getting calls. He feels like he's not getting this. He's not getting that. And then he's getting angry. He's making bad passes. He's like, what the. We should be beating this team. Why aren't we beating this team? And he's getting frustrated and agitated and annoyed, and and then gets tossed. And when people are playing any sport and your mind isn't where it's supposed to be, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You can pretty much apply that to anything, but I think that was a big part of it. I don't think it's very surprising to see that he was playing as carelessly as he was, and then on top of that got tossed in a crucial game. He just seemed like he was, especially just for mouthing off. That's what he was doing. He was constantly mouthing off, and I get it. I can understand that. I'm sure he's frustrated, but come on, man. I mean, it's, live to fight another day. Sometimes you just gotta like take a step back, chill out. I don't know. To me, he's so important that he needs to be available and he needs to be the best version of himself. And we go as far as he takes us.
Yeah, no, that's completely facts. This game we needed him, didn't really show it the way he needed to because he got ejected. But guys stepped up. Al
Yeah.
Horford played amazing. I think
Yeah.
Derek White was amazing. Jaylen
Always.
defensively this year. Jaylen defensively has been on a different level. He's getting steals. He's getting blocks. He's doing everything defensively. But I will say, offensively, something feels off about Jaylen. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's going through an injury, but he's airballed a couple of times over the past couple of games. Not saying he particularly had a bad game offensively in this last one versus Philadelphia. It was 8 of 20, had 4 rebounds, had 20 points. Not bad overall, but I don't know what it is. Hopefully he's okay. But
I mean, he's still averaging 21.8 points. I'm looking at his season statistics now. He's averaging pretty, if you want to call it, 21 and 5 with rebounds. And I mean, really, the glaring thing to me is the turnovers at 2.4, 18 games into the season. Free throw percentage 70%. I don't know why it's so low. But his 3-point percentage
what's Tatum's free throw percentage right now? Because I feel like he's been missing free throws lately.
He has been. Let me find that.
But with that being said, Jaylen only averaging 21 points. I don't think that's anything to be concerned about. I know he averaged 27 last year, but you add in a Drew Holiday, you add in a Porzingis, it's gonna go down, man. It's for everyone complaining out there about Jaylen not scoring 30 points a game. You need to relax.
So Tatum is averaging 27 and 8, which is impressive. 8 rebounds, 8.7 rebounds a game for Jason Tatum. Excellent.
Well, I feel like that's kind of designed. They want to push the tempo. So I feel like he's the one that's always back there. Everyone else goes.
So free throw percentage is better. He's at 80%, still too low. That he should be operating at 80, 88, 90%.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, he's one of the better shooters in the league. You can't make a free throw. I just don't understand the concept of missing free throws when you're like an elite level shooter. It just blows my mind.
I think it's a mind thing. It
is a mind thing, but it just doesn't make sense because like you see a lot of quality shooters that will 93-94% from 3, and it's just like you said, it's a mental thing. You know what I mean, more so than anything else. But I mean, field goal percentage is just shy of 50%, 49.9, and then 36% from 3. So really, roughly to what Jaylen's shooting, they're roughly shooting this quite close statistically from 3. So but his point per game is, I mean, he's averaging, like I said, 27.4. So I mean, he's creeping up to 30 points a game, and you see it more often than not. I feel like he's scoring 30.
Dude,
so it really.
I was looking at so our highest scores in every game. Listen to this. Only 3 games this year has it been someone other than Jaylen or Jason. I mean, it's not really that surprising, I guess, but
it's probably been Derek.
Kristaps twice and Derek once in the second game of the season. But I think that's how it should be. You got a 30 bomb by Jaylen, a 34 bomb by Tatum, 26 Tatum, 26 Brown, 45 Tatum, 23. I mean, it's all back and forth. So I do like to see that a lot. I feel like that's how 2 stars can coexist, and I feel like that's why we've been so good, because it's not just Tatum. We don't need Tatum to drop 40 points a game for us to win basketball games, especially when you have Drew and Derek and Kristaps and Jaylen. Our team is actually relatively deep. I mean, outside of Boston fans and Boston media, I have people coming to my chats all the time saying Boston has one of the worst benches of all time. But that's quite frankly the stupidest thing you could say.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Sam Hauser is shooting close to 45% from 3 this season.
Is it great? Is it great? No. It's not great, but it's not that bad. It really isn't. It's really not that bad.
Especially when we have Porzingis healthy. You have talking about Al Horford, who just dropped 20 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. I mean, Al Horford is playing like he's 27 years old right now, coming off our bench. He's looking amazing. Sam Hauser, one of the best shooters in the NBA right now. Payton Pritchard, hasn't been amazing, but he's starting to, pick it up. And, I feel like we need to give the flowers to Payton Pritchard passing the ball wise, because he's probably, if he was on a per 36 minutes, he's probably averaging close to 9 assists per game. That's how good he's been passing the basketball. And, he had 5 assists in 23 minutes last game. He's been relatively good when he's on the floor. Maybe not shooting the ball wise, and I kind of want to see his splits this season. Only shooting 33% from three, but that number is going to go up. I guarantee that number does go up over the next few months. But I think our bench is fine. In the beginning of the season, me and Ricky were very hesitant on our bench. We were like, damn, we might have to make some moves. But as of right now, I'm okay. And we are starting to see a little bit of, Neemias getting in there, getting some more playing time with the team, which is something I like. Last game versus Sixers, we actually saw them kind of split minutes. Queta had 10 minutes. Luke Cornett had 8 minutes. Now, in these minutes, Queta had 5 points and 5 rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds as well. So, Luke Cornett in 8 minutes had 0 points and 1 rebound. I know that's going to help your case a lot, Ricky, in terms of getting Luke Cornett off the floor.
Yeah, he got to go.
A lot of people don't like how you don't like Luke Cornett. It's actually
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I think he's terrible. I think he's terrible, and I think he's garbage. I'm just going to be very honest with you. I would take almost anybody else at this moment than Luke Cornett. I think he is.
I like Neemias, dude. I do.
I do too. I like Neemias. Give me
dude.
more. Give me more Neemias. I want all of that. He's actually given you some glimpses in the last couple of games that he's played in, where I've kind of been like, oh, okay, this guy's really kind of showing you something. And I'm looking at this, Fubs, and it's a little bit of a dated stat, but I was curious because I said, well, let's look at the facts. Where does the Celtics rank in bench scoring this season thus far? And it's not as readily available as I thought it would be. But as of the October 23rd, they were ranked 20th in the league in points. So in the bottom third.
That's like over a month ago, though. I feel like we've been getting heat up.
Over a month ago. Let's just be fair. It's probably 15th. It's probably dead middle of the league. So anyone that's saying it's the worst,
it's definitely not the worst.
It's not true. Like, I don't have to pull up that statistic to know that it's not true. But, is it good? No, it's not great. It's okay. It's middle of the road. But guess what? Who cares? When we get to the playoffs and it's a 7-man rotation, you got Al coming off the bench, and then either you're going to have Hauser or Pritchard coming off the bench, and that's it.
Definitely Sam. You cannot play Sam. He's been so good.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Sam, and they might even run it with an 8-man rotation because you'll need a ball facilitator with Pritchard. And then as you get to like the finals and the ECF, you might chop them out, and guys will be playing,
matchup wise, because I feel like defensively he's not the best, he's not the worst either, but I feel like teams might try to attack him, especially in the playoffs. So maybe they cut him out the rotation, but as a passer, like you said, I feel like Peyton Pritchard is up there as one of the best on the team in terms of being able to pass the basketball.
Yeah. And for anyone who thinks Luke Cornett is good, let me know when he gets quality playoff minutes if you think he's that good. Because guess what? He's not. He's not going to give you any minutes. There would literally have to be Al Horford and Chris, the center, one of our centers would have to go down for the season for him to even remotely sniff playoff time. That's not consecutive of them being, putting in guys in when they're beating somebody by 30 points, but like real playoff minutes, that man will not play a single minute of real playoff minutes. So I'm sorry. I got to call it for what it is.
I mean, in this Sixers game, he was a -9 in 8 minutes worse than the team.
He's not good, dude. I'm sorry. He's just not.
Listen,
he's just not.
I don't hate Luke Cornett. I just don't think he's better than Neemias. I understand. I
do. I listen. I would be more than happy with Neemias taking Luke Cornett's minutes.
No, and that's what we're starting to see. Like we said, Ricky, I believe in the first couple of podcasts that we did, we said, you know what, Luke Cornett's going to get the edge. It's going to be his time to lose. And then we're going to start seeing Neemias get in there and start earning minutes. And that's pretty much right where we are right now. He's starting to earn it. And you know what? Joe Mazzulla made dude, I haven't seen Joe do this in a while. He put in Luke Cornett. Listen, he put Luke Cornett in the game in the fourth quarter, and for 1 minute. It was 1 minute of action where they drove in, got a layup up over him, and he was like, okay, Luke, I'm sorry, you got to get out. And he took him out right away. So, hey.
It's a minute too many.
Shout out to Joe Mazzulla actually realizing, okay, wait, this was a bad move. I need to
He's so bad, dude. Here. He's so bad.
Listen,
it's not good at all.
At times he's okay. I think the last Sixers game, he was pretty good. He gave us a couple of good minutes. So he's not terrible, but he's not better than Neemias. I'll say that, Ricky. I agree with you there. But
He's not better than him. And in fact, I like
yeah,
how
I agree.
big and athletic Neemias is. I feel like Luke Cornett is so like he's just like a stumbling, bumbling fool out there. I feel like he's not even like he's just like clocking it around out there with his big old feet. I just it's just so goofy and uncoordinated. Like you see big men come into the league and they just don't have the necessary like Taco Fall, right? Like remember Taco Fall? Taco Fall was so, and I know Taco Fall is a bigger basketball player than Luke Cornett was, but Taco Fall could never play in the NBA for longer than he did because he was just so like incredibly uncoordinated for an NBA player. And he was like very clunky, and he felt like when he was out there, he was like a deer in headlights. And the only thing he really had going for him was how big and tall he was.
Yeah.
And Luke Cornett, I don't know what he has going for him, to be honest with you. I don't see it, but he's like just stumbling around out there. Like I just feel like he's not coordinated enough, and I just think he's goofy. If I can describe him in one word, it would be goofy for sure.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of wish we still had Mike Muscala on this team, man. I wish we kept Mike over Luke, but that's not how it went.
I mean, we gave up peanuts to go. We gave up did we traded for him, right? Like a late right before the deadline trade.
Yeah. Right before the deadline.
I would have. I mean, I don't know what the contract situation was, and maybe we just let him go, or if
I think Mike would have been pretty good in this
contract was up, but he gave you like not much.
Threes.
Dude, I would take Blake.
He would hit threes.
I would take Blake Griffin right now over Luke Cornett. I'm sorry, I just would.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm taking Neemias, man. Give me Neemias. Give me more some.
Give me Neemias. I know that pause, Fubs. I know you don't agree with me, but here's the thing: when Blake Griffin was out there, he played hard for you.
No, he did, and I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying I feel like Neemias is I like Neemias. I don't want to go out and sign someone over Neemias.
I would take Neemias over, but if you're going to be like, oh, let's get a veteran presence in here, someone who's comfortable in the system.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would say give me Blake Griffin. I liked what Blake Griffin gave me last season as opposed to, and I know he's a smaller player, but I mean this is a positionless game, and you could stuff that big old body of his in the five and have him cause havoc, and maybe he can force some turnovers or whatever. So so nobody freak out. This is the 10th man in the rotation. So let's just call it for what it is. Just a body. He's just a jag. He's just another guy.
Yeah. All right. But with that being said, the Celtics are 10-2 in their last 12 games. We did lose to the Hornets in Orlando. We have a couple of games coming up here. 3-game win streak right now. We got Indiana. That's an in-season tournament game. It's going to be a big one. 7:30 on Monday. And then right now it has us with a big break in between our next game, Indiana, then Cleveland on the 12th. So we got like an 8-day break. But with our next 8 games or so, Indiana, Cleveland, Orlando, Golden State, I think that's because of the in-season tournament. So I believe if we win against Indiana, we'll have a game on like the 7th or something like that. If we lose against Indiana, they'll probably schedule us with a game in between. I don't think we're going to have an 8-day break. I don't think that's going to happen. But I did see something earlier today, Ricky. The Celtics have the second easiest schedule for the rest of the season. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad.
They're gonna win 60+ games, Fubs. It's coming.
It looks like it could. It looks like it could.
But happen.
Right now, we're ranking number 8 in points per game, number 4 in points allowed per game. Our defense is getting a little bit worse, but that's to be expected. Losing an interior presence in Chris
defensive presence like Chris Satz.
Yeah. Have we heard any news about him? When's he supposed to come back? I heard it was like a week ago. So hopefully he's back sometime this week.
I would say don't rush it.
Don't rush it. Yeah, I did see that he avoided a major injury, so that does scare me a little bit that there was even potential for it to be a major injury. And you know what? Him and Jaylen Brown together play very well. I don't know what it is between them two, but they do play a lot better. Like Jaylen plays better.
I sense a little camaraderie amongst those two fellas. Like I saw something on social media. I feel like it was JB that posted it too, or reposted it or something like that. I feel like there's some camaraderie between those two, and I kind of like it because, when you're number 2, obviously number 2. I know JB does his thing and he'll have nights over JT, but clearly the number 2 on the team, and then an opposing number two comes in,
Yeah.
right? A guy who could be that number two. It seems like that doesn't really bother them in the way that
Yeah.
they're operating. It seems like that they're coherent. It seems like everybody wants the same thing. And probably Porzingis, being the veteran that he is, probably at some point maybe they had a conversation like, listen, man, I'm just here to win a championship. Like
Yeah, I think they're neighbors.
this is you guys' squad. Like, we're homies. I want to win with you. And it was probably a very cohesive type conversation. And yes, guys, these conversations do happen all the time in the NBA and all the time in any sort of professional setting where people just want to set what the relationship is going to be between two people when they're going to be working together as much as NBA players do. So these conversations 100% take place. Do we have facts that conversation indeed happened? Obviously not. We're not. I'd love to be a fly on the wall, but I'm not. But let's call it for what it is.
Yeah.
Guy came in, maybe, I don't know if JB felt some type of way about it, but ultimately it seems like they're boys and they're getting along and they're playing great basketball together. I think that's great. I think that that's something that really surprises me, because not that I didn't think that the chemistry would start to mesh, but I feel like I'm surprised how well those two in particular play basketball together.
No, yeah, they play very well. You can see the chemistry is already there. That usually doesn't happen for like 3-4 months down the line. But it seems like those guys are very, very, just cohesive together. They play well together. So hopefully we can see Kristaps back on the court. But with that being said, I did see a couple of weeks ago that Tatum called a team meeting right before the season started, called everyone in the locker room right after we traded for Drew and said, listen, a couple of us are going to have to take a step back. Our roles aren't going to be, me and Jaylen aren't going to be taking 25 shots a game anymore. We're going to have to make room for these guys to come in here and fit in with the system. So that conversation, like you said, did happen, but it was as a collective, a whole team coming together and saying, listen, we all can't just be the number one guy. It's going to change every single night. We're going to play to each other's strengths, and we're going to be a team. And that's what needed to happen. We talked about preseason. We need Jason. We need Jaylen to be team leaders, and they're being team leaders this year. I mean, the fact that Jaylen's not sitting here complaining about not getting 25 shots a game anymore, and I don't know what he's getting this year, but I guarantee you it's less than 25. He's not complaining. He's taking it up on the chin, and he's playing basketball as a good teammate. And, I feel like that's one of the big examples, one of the big reasons why this team is working on the floor together. So hopefully, like we said, Porzingis can get back healthy. Don't rush him. And, man, if he is healthy, if he gets healthy and we can continue to build this chemistry, I do think our team is scary, man. So still a lot to work on, though. Still a lot to work on. I would say the biggest things that we need to work on right now, and it's been, quite frankly, the same things. Rookie third quarter, we're still ranking dead last in third quarters. Dead last. I don't know how the hell that happens. Got to fix that still, and we got to stop allowing offensive rebounds and stop turning over the basketball. I feel like we're ranked 18th right now in turnovers per game. If you're a championship team, you cannot be on the bottom half in turnovers per game, because if you allow more shot attempts to the Bucks, if you allow more shot attempts to the Sixers, a healthy Sixers team, you're gonna lose in 7 games. You're gonna lose 7 games. So we got to get the offensive rebounding fixed, and we got to get the turnovers fixed. And this team is so good. Is there anything you want to put in there as something we need to fix? I feel like I pretty much covered them all right there.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just being able to play with any level of consistency. You're pretty much touching on all the things that they have to do to be consistent. But the thing about the Celtics is they give you those things in spurts. And they give them to you probably more often than they don't. Let's say 60% of the time you're seeing good Celtics basketball. Well, I'd like to see that come up to closer to 80% on a regular basis. You know what I mean? And I don't think I'm asking for a whole lot here. I feel like asking 100% is like an unrealistic expectation when you're talking about an 82-game season and then they turn it up a notch in the postseason. But I really would like to see more consistent basketball. Obviously, I want to see them winning third quarters. That's a statistic. Every game I go into the box score and I revisit how many points did they give up, how many points did they score. They're losing that battle way more often than they're winning it. And I mean, I would even get to the point where I would take a tie. But I think the biggest thing that they're doing well, and I've already alluded to this in the beginning of the episode, so spoiler alert, but ultimately it's not about blowing leads at the end of the game. That's the biggest thing. So I guess the thing that, to me, that gives me confidence is the thing that they're doing without really needing that's the biggest improvement point that they had throughout between last season and this season. I feel like they've kind of really stopped that lack of focus in the fourth and giving up big leads. Really, the only time I really saw it and it was like, oh crap, it was Milwaukee. I thought they were going to blow it to
Yeah.
Milwaukee, and luckily we were able to claw our way back into it and win the game. But I'm
Yep.
like, God, we were winning so comfortably, and then all of a sudden they just stupid after stupid thing in the fourth, and then all of a sudden you're only up one or two possessions, and then luckily they were able to go get it right back. But they really haven't done that a whole lot this season. They pretty
Yeah.
much, if they go into the fourth with the lead, they do a pretty good job of maintaining their distance and keeping their foot on the gas.
Yeah, it's a good point. Hopefully, we can fix these third quarter woes because come playoff time, those are going to be huge momentum swings, especially versus good basketball teams. I mean, it doesn't really matter that we're doing it against these lower end teams, but man, once you do it against the bad teams, they will fight back and they will close the gap and they will win games in the third and fourth quarter. But with that being said, let's get into the mailbag, Ricky. We got about 12 questions here from the viewers here.
A baker's dozen. Let's go.
Yep. All right. So first one, Will Bracewell says, "What do you think the Celtics should do during the trade deadline?" I feel like,
Nothing.
At the moment, I feel like nothing. It really depends. How, again, if Peyton Pritchard doesn't, I don't know. I feel like I like what Peyton Pritchard's doing right now. But if there's a way we can get Alex Caruso without really touching Sam Hauser or any of our starting 7 guys, I might do it.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. See, this is why I'm saying nothing, is because you can't really create that difference maker without giving up someone who's right now a pivotal rotation player. Pritchard would be somebody I would be willing to move, but I don't see how. Right, but what do you? Okay, so I guess a pick, like
you'd
Pritchard
have to
and
give
a pick.
A couple picks. Well, all right, so the Bulls are.
But why would the Bulls? But why would the Bulls do that? They got Cody White. What do they need? What do they need Peyton Pritchard for?
Well, what do they need Alex Caruso for? And they actually have Javon Carter too. I would take him too. I would take either one of those guys. Javon Carter, Alex Caruso. Give me one of those guys. But what I'm saying is,
I like Alex Caruso. I'll take Alex Caruso, but
yeah,
I just don't see how the only thing you're giving up for Alex Caruso is Pritchard in a pick. But I mean,
I think it would be more picks. I don't think it would just be one. I think it would be a couple of seconds. I think it would be a pick swap. I think it would be 2 firsts or something like that. And I think that might put us over the top. He's a way better defender than Peyton Pritchard. I don't know. I don't know if it puts us over the hump though. So I don't really. I'm not cemented in doing it. But if the Bulls are sitting here saying, okay, we're trading Zach LaVine, we're trading DeMar DeRozan.
I don't love it only because I like Caruso, but what is that going to do to Hauser? Because I feel like you put a guy in like Caruso, he's going to be bleeding into more of Hauser's minutes, and I feel like Hauser then takes the Pritchard role, which could be fine in theory, but I feel like the man's shooting the ball so well and playing so well. Why do you want to mess with that?
No, I think it would be very similar. I think Caruso would take over the Pritchard role, get about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes a night. I don't think he would step in and take Hauser's minutes just because of how good he's been. But I do think that it would affect Hauser's chemistry with the team because we already seen him and Pritchard have that chemistry. They've been so good together. So maybe, I don't know. At the moment right now, I would say nothing. However, I would say maybe go out and get a Danny Green, maybe go out and get a TJ Warren, a Marcus Morris, a Terrence Ross, some wing that can come and score
get me
the ball.
Mook, man. I want Mook back on this team. That's a move.
It's only going to happen if he gets bought out. If he gets bought out,
but that doesn't require us to move any pieces. And I would love a guy like that.
Yeah, so I would say in terms of the trade, I would say nothing.
Yeah, ultimately I would say nothing because I don't know of a difference maker. If Quinta keeps progressing, you're gonna have a big that's gonna be able to complement Porzingis and Horford in a way that you're not gonna have to give up anything for it. I'm okay with him being in that role over Luke Cornett, and so that's really the only thing that I'm most concerned about is somebody getting into that role of complimentary big man when one of our other 2 big men aren't available. Yeah. That's really the biggest kind of woe, in my opinion, that we have. But if that's your biggest woe, then do you really need to trade an asset for that sort of thing? I just feel like people want trades because it's sexy. Like people just like, ooh, trades, like fantasy, like I'm playing fantasy basketball. I can make trades. It's like it doesn't work like that in the league. And Brad, as we've seen, really has had a good pulse on the necessities of the franchise. And as things currently stand, mind you, best record in the league, as things currently stand, I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't mess with it
Yeah.
unless somebody is getting bought out and it's a value add, or we can get somebody like Caruso for a Peyton Pritchard. Sure, I'd do that deal. Fine.
I think that is doable just because they're about to blow it up. The only reason why.
Maybe. I mean, I would do Pritchard in a first. I'll take Caruso.
I would. Do you think that affects Sam Hauser though? I feel like it might a little bit.
I feel like
it.
I feel like it would. Yeah, and I got you thinking about it, huh?
Well, just in terms of the chemistry, between him and Pritchard is so good. Will he have that with Caruso? I don't know.
It very well could.
So I'm gonna say no trade deadline moves now.
I agree with you.
Unless there's an injury. If there's an injury that's long term, then okay.
I mean that's different. That changes the whole landscape if we have a major injury. But let's not put that into the universe.
Okay, so now I have a question for you guys, not you, Ricky, but everyone in the comments. Go comment down one player you think could get bought out that the Celtics should be looking at, or even someone that's a free agent right now. Because for me, TJ Warren, go get TJ Warren. Even if he doesn't play any minutes, I like TJ Warren. I think he'd be better than O'Shea Brissett, to be honest. And I like O'Shea Brissett. I don't think he can shoot a three too much, but
for sure.
Next question. Now this is all right, Ricky. This next question is interesting. And now in my streams, just to set the scene here, a lot of hate on Jaylen Brown. Nobody, not nobody, but like maybe like 20% of my viewers right now are hating Jaylen Brown, man. They're saying most overrated player in the NBA, most overpaid player. He should be making like $5 million a year. We should trade him for goddamn who they say? They said someone crazy.
They're trolling you, Fubs.
No, but they mean it. They mean it. It's not trolling. They mean it. Okay, question. I think everyone would agree that JB is not the type of player to earn his contract. However, the Celtics didn't really have a choice if they wanted to keep him. Just want to know your thoughts on the deal and the Celtics cap situation through 2030.
What are you talking about? They absolutely had a choice. They could have traded him this year. They could have not signed him. Stop this. Look, the guy is big time. Okay,
he is.
Let's stop with this. This is ridiculous. Like, go look at the statistics.
Ricky, the thing is that people hate is last year he averaged 27, 28 points a game. Okay, and now they look at him this year, and you said what, 21 points a game? People hate that because it's not the number value. They want to see him continuing to put up 28 points a game, whatever it is.
How can you put up 21 points a game when you have all the mouths to feed? You can't do that. That's not. Yeah, that doesn't even make any sense, dude.
That's what I'm saying. And people sit here and they think and they want JB to be able to shoot 50% from the field, 40% from three every single game. Like, people are gonna have bad games, man. It's like, and what pisses me off, Ricky, is when they come. What was
his points per game last year?
I think 27 to 28.
Okay, he's 21-8 right now.
Yeah, so it's 21-8, a step down.
It might not even be that far, Fubs, because guess what? Mid-season, guys are going to be taking rest. JB's going to have to step up and play Tatum minutes, and he's going to score 35, 40 points a game. And I would say that number's probably going to be around 23. Okay,
let's call it 20. That. That's good for the roster that you have.
We call it 23. You're going to lose 3 points a game when you add Kristaps Porzingis and Drew Holiday to your roster.
Yeah, like, you have Derek White, you have Sam Hauser, you have Al Horford.
How many points do you want him to score?
If we were putting up 160 points a game, I would say, okay, yeah, he should be putting up 27 points a game.
Fubs, you know me, bro. You know me. I have never bit my tongue when it comes to Jaylen Brown.
Yeah,
never.
Ricky's actually very critical on JB, so the fact that he's in agreement here, that's showing you guys something. Stop complaining about JB.
Because again, stop talking about the contract like it's your damn money. It doesn't make no sense. Why are you mad that he was the next one to get paid? AD got a contract. How many times guys get a contract and people are like, how is he the highest paid player in the league? It's because it's called It's Your Turn. Just like it's going to be Tatum's turn. And Tatum's going to be the highest paid. And then next year, y'all going to be bitching about that too. Saying, why did he take a step back? Why is he only averaging 26 points a game? Like, listen to yourself. If the man averages 23 points a game, that's good.
Yeah, and then guess what? Next year, it's going to be Anthony Edwards, and nobody's going to talk about the Jaylen situation because in 3 years from now, he's going to be like the 12th highest paid player, and you guys are going to be like, oh, it's not even that much money anymore because the cap is going to go up and up and up.
When's Steph Curry getting paid? Because he's going to be next. Like, I don't know when his contract's up, but the guy, and he's worth every penny. So if we're going to talk about, look, I get people's whole perception of like, oh, he's not worth the money. Listen, the guy did all the requirements. Think about it. In order to get a supermax, it's not just getting a supermax. It's a checklist. You have to do certain things to
All
qualify.
NBA.
You have to qualify for the supermax.
All-star.
So he qualified for the supermax, so he gets the supermax. Look, I don't care how much they pay him. It's got nothing to do with me. If they need to trade him, guess what? He's a value add. You can trade him. Why you don't trade him is because you're never going to get back for him what he's actually worth. Anytime a superstar like that gets traded, you never get back for him what he's worth. It's just too valuable. Look at what Portland got back for Dame. You're never going to get the value back. Never. It never happens that way. So people just need to stop. You guys want to look at things so objectively like it's black and white, and it's not. It's convoluted. It's complicated because there are too many mouths to feed, and there's a lot of people playing, and it's bigger than just how many points you're scoring. It's also what value is he adding to your team when Tatum's not on the court. All that stuff matters, and he's played pivotal moments. Yes, he turns over the ball too much. Yes, he can't go left. Yes, he needs to work on his free throws. All true things. But overall, in moments, he's been, in a lot of cases this season, the best player on the court. Visibly.
Especially
you can
defensively,
see it.
too. I mean, defensively, he's on one this year. But, guys, we're 15-4.
He's 32nd in the league in points per game. Yeah. 32nd. So think about it. That's pretty good considering that he has all these players around him that need to put up points. And then also he's in the conversation. I mean, 32, there's only 30 players in the NBA. I mean, 30 teams in the NBA. And there's one guy on every team that's the guy. So he is the second, maybe third guy on the team. And he's in the 32nd position currently in points. And guess what? That number's going to go up. So it's going to go up.
In terms of that number, he is the second best second player on a team because he's 32nd overall. So he's the second best player in the league. So that's pretty damn good.
If you want to look at it like that, Fub, sure. I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but sure, fine. Ultimately, what people need to realize is that it's not about how many points he scores. It's about what's the plus and minus? What value is he adding when Tatum's not there? And is he winning you games? And he's doing both of those things well. So it's just like, it doesn't make sense for us to be, I just wanted a giant Jaylen Brown rate. I didn't want to do that. So, next question, but no, the people are out of their mind.
Yeah, I mean, we're 15-4. What are we complaining about? We look like the best team in the NBA. How are we complaining?
Listen, if I'm not complaining, I don't know why anyone else would. I find ways to complain about this team in any moment that I ever get. If I can find a way to bitch, I'm bitching.
Yeah, and I'm not mad about the contract because Jason Tatum came out last game of the year when we got bounced. He said, listen, there's one thing I need this team to do, and that's re-sign Jaylen Brown. Yep. They did that. If you didn't re-sign Jaylen, I guarantee you Jason will be out next. So listen, every single one of you guys complained about Jaylen's contract. If you want him not to get paid, then you might as well just hope for a rebuild because that would be tough.
I didn't realize it was their money that they were paying him.
Yeah, listen, we have a champion.
I don't get the contract complaint. Like it would be one thing if it was Ben Simmons. He's not Ben Simmons. The contract is very much tradable. They can move him in 2 seasons if he doesn't pan out and start over. Nobody is losing their house over Jaylen Brown getting signed. Okay. Yep. So people just need to relax with that whole thing. The man, it was his turn to get paid next. They did what they had to do. They could have traded him if they wanted to. They didn't. And they did the right thing not doing that. And look at it now. Best team in the NBA, and they're the favorites. They're the favorite to win this stupid tournament, and they're the favorite right now to win an NBA Finals. So just look at it objectively like that. And Jaylen Brown brings ultimate value to this team, and he's a big reason why they're as successful as they are.
Yeah, no, I agree. Now, I am seeing that a lot of these questions are very similar. Like Hero says, do you think we should get Alex Caruso? Like we said, if there's an injury, maybe. Right now, I would say no unless the price is low.
I won't repeat myself. Yeah. Next question.
So Nash Organic says, do the Celtics, again, need to trade up? How aggressive should they be to add a 7th man? Someone like Alex Caruso, great defense, shooting and playmaking. Again,
next question. Sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. We already answered the question. I mean, people don't want to hear it again. You know what I mean?
Okay, Banger YouTube says, will Porzingis stay healthy? I'm hoping. Was it a good idea to
Hopefully.
trade Smart? And will Brown
Yes.
live up to his $350 million contract?
Okay, see the previous conversation. Yes, he will. Marcus Smart, yes, needed to go. Needed to change the DNA of the team. Removing Marcus Smart does that. That's the right move by Brad. He did the
And
right
you
thing.
and you add Porzingis. I think
Yeah,
Porzingis is a great addition. Makes us a championship, I think, favorites right now.
yeah,
Will
for sure.
Porzingis stay healthy? Obviously, I can't answer that. I hope so. I pray to God. I pray to God he stays healthy.
Me too. Me
Next
too.
question. We got my guy Colby YNW_Wemby says, "What happens if the Celtics don't win a finals in the next 3 years?" Well, that would be
It'll be bad. I mean,
it
Tatum
would
and
be bad.
Brown shooting their way out of Boston. Rebuilds. It'll be disaster. If they don't win it in 3 years, it's disaster. It's a failure. It's an abject failure. If they don't win it this year, it's a failure. This is boomer bust season. I mean, I'm just gonna be very frank. I don't really
Unless there's
have
an
any.
injury, but yes, I agree.
Yeah, well, as things currently stand. I mean,
Yeah,
but it would have to be a pretty. Even if Kristaps, I mean, I don't want to speak this to the. I don't even want to
yeah,
say it. I'm just
yeah.
not going to say it. What I want to say right now, but as things currently stand. Yes, this is a must-win season. It's a failure if they don't win in 3 seasons. Get ready for Brown and Tatum to do what all superstars do, which is shoot themselves out of a place that they don't feel like they can win a championship in.
So, Ricky, if you were the GM of this team, and let's just say, you have this roster the way it is, and over the next 3 years, you go to the finals every single year, but lose in 7 games in the next 3 years. Every single year, lose in the finals. Do you blow it up,
Yeah.
or do you
I
run it
don't think
back?
it's I don't think it's up to you. I don't think it's up to you to blow it up. I think it's up to the players whether they want to play for you or not anymore. I think that's
Yeah.
ultimately what how many times you see a player get on Twitter and try to shoot themselves out of a team. The team doesn't want to trade him. We just saw it with Harden. Team didn't want to trade him.
I'm glad we don't have a guy like Harden, though. Hopefully, none of our
Oh,
guys
that
develop or turn into a
that
Harden.
loser, dude. He's a loser. He's a loser. Westbrook's a loser. They're all losers over there together in LA. And let me just be frank, real quick. They're ballers, great players, but they're not winners. There's a difference.
Kawhi is, but you know.
No, I'm not talking about Kawhi. I'm talking about
Oh, just
Westbrook and
Harden,
Hart.
yeah.
No, Kawhi's a winner, dude.
Yeah.
Kawhi's too good for those dudes. I'm sorry. I don't know what they're trying to do over there. Make like this super team of people that don't actually want to win anything. They just want to pad stats and I don't know what they're doing over there, dude. It blows my mind. Kawhi should have never left Toronto. Anyway,
Dude,
next question.
it is the end of the super team era because I remember the Nets team, Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant, everyone's
It
like,
doesn't
oh,
work.
who's stopping them?
It doesn't work.
It's the chemistry. And then I remember when the
Yeah.
Lakers got Russell Westbrook and AD and LeBron, and they were like, dude, how is anyone going to stop them? It's so stupid. They were terrible. It's all chemistry. So whenever you guys,
Harden, Ben Simmons, KD doesn't work.
yeah, it's just like,
It
hey,
doesn't work.
relax and
But
let's see if it can work.
But if Harden's on your team, it'll never work because that dude's never winning a championship.
What
Not
about
never.
what about Beal, Booker, and KD? You think that's gonna work? Because that is super teamish.
It
I haven't
is.
seen it yet.
I would say my concern with Beal is similar to my concern with Porzingis, which is availability.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Kinky Karen 9338 says, "Oh, this is he says or she says, Neemias Queta over Cornette question mark. Ricky, I know your answer." So she Okay,
You can
so
come
I
on the
would say-
podcast anytime.
Kinky Karen.
Special guest
I would
appearance
say-
on the podcast.
I would say yes. I would take Neemias over Cornette for the time being. Yes. And then
Yeah.
she says Brissett or Svi. I neither of them are playing right now, but I would take Svi right now. Better
I would
shooter,
take Svi. Svi
better
as well.
shooter. I like Brissett's defense and I like his athleticism, but Banton can shoot the ball, so that's more important. Banton over Pritchard if he doesn't get over the hump. Right now I'd say Pritchard's playing well.
No, I would take Pritchard because so Pritchard to me, and I've been critical about his shooting. He's not shooting to his capabilities, but he's been a great ball handler, an excellent passer, developed good chemistry with the bench. He's developed solid chemistry with the starters when he's out there, and he is a value add to the team, and he's great defensively. great
Yeah.
defensively. He doesn't give these guys space to work in. He's good. He's good defensively.
He's a pest. He's a pest.
Yeah, he is a pest. He's a junkyard dog, as they like to call it. You know what I mean? That's, kind of how Pat Beverly got his way when he first came into the league. He's kind of that sort of player. It just sucks because he could shoot that thing, and I know he can shoot that thing. I've seen him shoot that way. So, yeah, but it's a consistency thing. I feel like with him more so than everybody else. It's like you don't know what you're going to get out of him from a scoring perspective. And I feel like sometimes he just needs to take the ball to the hole and just try to get a couple of that way, and then navigate, spread it out a little bit more. I feel like he gets a little too complacent shooting the three.
So in October, he shot 10%. In November, he shot 37.5% from three. So obviously getting a little bit better.
Improving, yeah, for sure. It could just be better shot selection to, like, maybe just, facilitate more than you're shooting it. I don't know how many shots he took in comparison, but that's good. I mean, if you're getting 33% from three, Peyton Pritchard, I'll take that.
Yeah, not bad. So I'll take Pritchard for now. As long as he keeps passing the ball well and gets his shooting back up, I think he'll be fine. Next question, Cooked by Spence, says, thoughts on Delano Banton and Neemias Queta? I like Delano Banton, a lengthy guard who can pass, can rebound, can push the tempo. Don't think he's got any playing time on the team yet.
No, he doesn't. He's not.
Not yet. I think he's good. I just don't think we have any space for him.
I think that's ultimate. Just too many mouths to feed, and I mean, Neemias got to get more minutes. He got to get Luke Kornet minutes. Give him Luke Kornet's minutes.
Even if that's 8 to 10 minutes a game, or even 18 minutes a game with no Kristaps, I would give him that. I think he's been that good, and I think rebounding wise, he helps us so much. I mean, the man had 5 rebounds in 8 minutes, something like that. So, get him in the game more. Definitely want to see Neemias a lot more. Context driven. Let's debate or be says says only green that matters is Milwaukee and money. So no question. Just maybe a Milwaukee Bucks fan.
Sounds like it. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
All right. Okay, here's something for you, Ricky. Landon Lake says, will Ricky apologize to the Mailbag fam for being wrong about the IST, which is the in-season tournament?
What was I wrong about?
I think they just said that you didn't think the Celtics would care at all to win any of the in-season tournament games.
I don't think they do. I still don't think they care. I think the organization cares. But I never said the organization didn't care. I said the players don't care. Yeah. And the players pretty much told you they didn't care. That the only reason why they did it was because the coach told them to do it. So I don't need to apologize for anything because I'm pretty much right, as always, Fubs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like now that they're there, though, they can't. Look at Ricky. He's gassed up now. I feel like they do care now, though. I feel like now that they're ready to go. Hopefully, we'll see on Monday versus the Pacers.
Look, if they go out there and they eviscerate the Pacers and you see them giving fits to Milwaukee and they're really trying to push this thing, then maybe they care about it more than I thought they would. And I'll eat crow. But I'm going to tell you what, if they barely beat Indianapolis and then on Indiana, I'm sorry, and then get owned by Milwaukee, or who's Milwaukee playing? What terrible team are they playing? I don't even know. To be honest, they get beaten by one of those terrible teams. I'm gonna be like, they were over it. They just won a night in Vegas and they went home. Like, they could care less about this stupid tournament. So
the Bucks are playing the Knicks.
Okay, great, perfect. Knicks upset and end up in the finals, and they beat the Celtics. I'm emphatic about they didn't care.
You know what would be a good storyline though for this first in-season tournament?
What's that?
Celtics Lakers in the finals.
That's what I said. That's what I said earlier. If it's a Celtics Lakers final, I'm interested.
I would be crazy.
I would be interested in that. If we have to play Sacramento, not interested. Not interested.
So right now it's what? It is Pelicans Kings and then Suns Lakers. So even the Suns would be kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, Suns would be cool. Suns would be cool. But Lakers, obviously there's history, so you'd be interested in that. But I still have not been convinced that the players care. The organization cares and the league cares. That's all true. But I never said Joe cares because Joe is Joe is 1-2 with the organization. He's in stride with the organization, and then the players obviously fall in line because they are a part of the organization. But
Yeah.
just because the players do what the coaches and the organization says doesn't mean they care about it. They're just good. They're just good employees, which is ultimately what they are: employees to their franchise.
All right, I see
And
what
like
you're
good
saying.
and like good employees, you do what you're asked to do. That's just how it works with all of us. We all got jobs. We all got to tell what to do, and we all have to do those jobs unless you work for yourself. And then, which in fact, kudos to you if you do that. But most people have a boss, and they have to do what their boss tells them to do. And in this case, and Drew Holiday said it. Drew Holiday said, "I was told to do this, so I did it." He said it verbatim. So
he said he wasn't too happy about going back into the game in a blowout.
So there's nothing for me to be wrong about. As far as I'm concerned, I'm still they would have completely been fine with losing or winning by 15 points and being out of the tournament, but they were asked to run up the score. So, whatever. We'll see.
I know it's a little bit disrespectful to do that, but I kind of like it. I feel like it gives us a sense of urgency late games.
It's interesting. It adds like this drama to it. That we don't have in November basketball. We don't have this sort of drama in November. So again, kudos to the league. Kudos to them, drumming this stuff up and creating meaningful games in November. I think that's great for the league. I think maybe going forward, people like me will like it more when it becomes, business as usual. Because right now it's new. So I'm open to new things, but it's got to make sense to me, and it didn't make sense to me at first. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how the tournament goes. And again, if it's a Lakers Celtics finals and they're balling and they're playing hard, then okay, I'm wrong. Yeah. But until then, to be determined.
Yeah, I also feel like there's a part of me that doesn't want to go out there and show the Bucks what we got, because that is a potential, obviously, playoff matchup there. But at the same time, it is what it is. I feel like if we play them, we're gonna have to showcase what we got, right? If we really care. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Monday, we got Celtics Pacers. You have any predictions for this game? The Pacers have been relatively pretty damn good. Fast-paced team, move the ball well.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think we'll beat them by a couple of possessions. They're a fun team. They don't really have. Yeah, that's fine. I'm.
You got Halliburton. You got Buddy Yield.
They'll win by like 7-8 points.
7-8 points. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll take it. I kind of. What do you want to get there? Do you want to get to the finals, or are you kind of just like, play like a normal game? Let's get through it.
Let's see. I'm honestly gonna be disinterested unless we see a Milwaukee Boston. I'm not interested. I'm gonna watch the game, but I'm not. No, it's not. I'm mainly watch the game because I want to talk about it afterwards.
Yeah.
But
so you're not sitting there like, okay, let's win this game so we get to the next round. You're just like, all right, let's see some Celtics basketball.
I just want these guys to be ready for when it actually matters. That's like I'm so fixated on this Fubs. I want this championship so bad, dude.
I do too.
The fact that the tournament's happening this year, I could have just wait one more year. Like we just get this title out of the way. And then I'm like, at that point, I'm just like, okay, whatever happens at that point, we won the title. I'll live with the outcome. But like, it's so close. And for something to happen, I'll tell you what, these fans asking these questions, they're going to feel differently if something bad happens in this tournament to one of our players. They'll feel differently about it.
Yeah.
It's all fun and games until some crazy shit happens.
If we're up by like 25 with 5 minutes left with the starter still in, trying to outscore by a certain amount of points, then they would.
Could you imagine if Drew Holiday got hurt for 4 weeks trying to hack a Drummond?
Yeah, that would be bad. Imagine Drummond just right in the face, broke his jaw. Yeah, I mean,
obviously, I don't want to say it, but and I know it can happen at any time, but like it doesn't matter. It can happen anytime. It's what matters is when it happened. So, that's my only concern. It's like they're playing a stupid game against Milwaukee and somebody gets hurt for 4 or 5 weeks. It's like, oh, okay, well, I hope it was worth it, guys. I hope this tournament was worth it.
I wonder how it affects the team, though. Let's say we go out there. Let's say we win it all. Does it affect us? Does it give us a bad ego? Or what I mean by that is like too much of an ego. We think we're the best in the league already, or does it negatively affect us? Like if we get bounced by the Pacers or the Bucks, if we get blown out by the Bucks, you don't think it affects Celtics at all?
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. There's still so much basketball left. I don't foresee that being the case. I don't think it makes it. I don't think it. Maybe it'd be a little bit of a boost in their confidence if they win it all. But I don't. I know that's contradictory, but I don't foresee that being the other way because you still have, 60 more games to play, and if you go on an 8-game winning streak between now and then, it's like you're going to be confident. If you end the season winning 5 straight, you're going to be confident. You know what I mean? So I feel like you could lose some confidence, but you get it right back.
Yeah. Well, I do want to see us not blow leads, though. That's something I want us to see in these games because these, are important to the organization. Come out here, close out games, and I think it would benefit us if we play the Bucks, come out here, just, either, let's say we go down by 15 and make a comeback win. I think that would tremendously help out the roster and the team morale. And if you go in the finals and go down by 10 versus the Lakers, comeback win, I think that would be huge for the morale. So I think there are a couple of ways that this could help the Celtics overall. But just there is some ways it could negatively affect us too. I think if we blow a big lead to the Bucks, up by 20 going to the fourth quarter, blow it and lose, I think that could be pretty demoralizing. So hopefully we just come out here, let's play good basketball and do what we said before. Ricky said consistency. Stop allowing so many offensive rebounds.
Right.
Stop turning over the basketball.
Yep.
And play good in third quarters. I think that those are the 4 points of emphasis for the Celtics going into the next couple weeks.
Recipe for success, Fubs, and probably that Thursday Cavs game. I'll hop in on a post game with you.
Okay, and also let me know when you want to come into a stream too, because you can still do that.
Oh, I'll come in some point this month, and we'll surprise the homies out there on the live stream. I'll go on there, and they can talk shit to me. It's fine.
No, they'll probably ask you some questions about Luke Cornett.
I ain't got nothing else to say about Luke Cornett.
It's gonna be a no comment type of situation. All right, guys.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
All right, guys. Hey, we appreciate you guys coming through. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, comment down below. We're going to be putting out another mailbag episode next week. So every comment, every question you guys ask will be answered, whether it be about Luke Cornett, whether it be about Peyton Pritchard, we will answer it, whatever it may be. So join the family.
in the comment section, comment one good thing you like about Luke Cornett. I want to hear it.
All right, yeah, one good thing about Luke Cornett that you like, and I'll make sure to send them all to Ricky. I'm gonna screenshot every single one and send them to Ricky so he can sleep on it.
There'll be 3 comments because people actually don't have an answer to that question.
All right, we appreciate you guys. Hey, for this episode, make sure you guys leave a like, 5-star review on Spotify, follow the YouTube, follow the Spotify, whatever it may be, and we'll see you guys on the next post game episode. And we'll see you guys soon. Peace.